Hello and welcome to you all. It's been a long time since I released a new product or a new update, and as I promised before, I've been working for the past months both for getting new ideas for different markets. In this case, putting much more attention towards the stock market, especially the US one, and at the same time further on during the next weeks I'm going to also bring new updates for the crypto products that we had. And on top of that, I also would like to say that I have some updates as well planified for the manual trading tools, especially the volatility one, where I'm going to make it more accessible and easier to be used by everyone. But anyway, let's get on with it. Today I'm going to bring our latest product from the stock market area. In this case, I've been testing this product already for more than 4 months, I would say, and you can see that, for example, since September, more or less the data, it's going toward the expected values. We have no negative year for the last 14, 15 years of data. Uh, the calculations behind it are I'm looking on high and lows values, and I'm looking for these different high and lows values, for uh, certain percentages of ascending or descending values. And at the same time, we can see, you would have the optimization part for this, in this case here. Like for example, I'm looking at 82 candles for high and lows. In this case, 82 because we are using 1 hour time frame. So in this case, it would be, uh, the multiple of the time frame which we are using. At the same time, internally I'm using as a correlation. So yeah, for example, right now we are at the SPI, but internally I'm always going to look at SPI chart, because like I said, this is adapted for the US market. So because of this, we can see that I can take, for example, QQQ without making any optimization, and I'm still going to have amazing data. I can take, for example, DI index, and I'm going to have as well amazing return. I can take Vanguard, and as well I'm going to have amazing return. I can take Apple, and I'm going to have amazing returns. I can take Microsoft, and I'm going to have amazing returns. I can take Google, and so on. So, with the most, I would say with the stocks which are the most correlated with our index, it's going to work more than amazing. We're going to be the buy and hold by a long time. I would say, main of strategies part, like 85%, no, even more, 90% of the trades are going to come from for long. We can see from the summary here that we had 233 trades for long and 14 for short, because the short is very specific. And in the case of the short, I'm looking at the volatility index. So in this case, I'm taking a look at VIX. And the same situation, I'm looking, of following or increasing, period. And if that's going to happen, then, for example, I'm going to take the short. So it's a very high, accurate, and precise, type of entry. With that, let's go a little bit further. So, like I said, this would be the part of the optimization. Currently, it's as good as it is, but if you want, you can look a little bit more into it. And yeah, regarding the settings, like I said, so this is the look back where I'm taking for where I'm looking at the amount of length, for the high and low to take into the calculation. Then, for example, in the candle range, this is a special criteria because I'm taking the movement from the close until the open, and with that I'm going to make an average movement, like a realized volatility. And with that realized volatility, I'm going to apply a multiple. And with this one, so let's say for example in the last 20 candles we have an average realized volatility of 1%. So in this case, for example, I'm going to create the range multiple of 1.5. So I'm going to multiply 1.5 with 1. So in this case, I'm going to have 1.5% realized volatility. And with this realized percent volatility, when I'm going to make a new entry, either for long or for the short, I'm looking at least this current candle, better said this previous candle, it realized at least 50% of that movement. So in this case, for example, if we made 1.5% the realized volatility as an average of the last 20 candles, so I'm looking at the previous candle, for example, it made a minimum of 0.75% movement. And of course, so this it would be like one of the precise parts, and then the other one, like within the 72 highs and lows, I'm looking internally, at a certain criteria. Like for example, the last 10 candles, the last five, better said, the last 10 highs or the last 10 lows, they have been increasing or decreasing with that in mind, you know, I'm entering into a trade. Then I had applied as well, you know, the dynamic risk management. This dynamic risk management is similar with the one that we have for the Dominus and Calculus crypto products. So in this case, I'm taking the ATR of the daily value, and with that ATR of the daily values, I'm going to apply, you know, a multiplier. For the take profit, as you can see, I leave it in 100 because I would like the take profit to exit, you know, based on the conditions that we have, you know, from the market. But if you want, you know, you can apply yourself, you know, to make it a little bit more reactive if you want. But for the stop loss, yeah, I would like, because in case we are going to have huge swing movements against us, you know, we are going to be protected. So this is going to come in handy. And then a new type, you know, I used to do it in the past, and I'm going to slowly adapt it, you know, with all my other products. So instead of having two versions of strategy and alert, I'm going to make one version where we're going to have both the strategy and alert inside. So for this, you know, we are going to have here within the strategy parameters, we are going to have the message long entry, long exit, short entry, and short exit. So here, for example, we are going to create our long entry message. So let's say, for example, this is going to be, this is a long entry message. Let's delete the other ones. So in this case, I have, you know, I have a long entry message. Now, in order to select, to create it, we are going to go and we are going to apply add alert. We are going to write for the SN channel. Here, for example, we would be SPI entry alert. And then on the message, we will have to write this command, which is going to be strategy.order alert message. So we are going to write this. So when we are going to create the alert this way, in that situation, when the strategy itself is going to enter into a new position, or is going to close that position, it will automatically trigger the message which I have wrote before in this in the strategy parameters. So yeah, this is telling that, you know, it's that can get repeated because we are creating the strategy, we are creating the alert within the strategy itself, but I'm still using, you know, the candle close value, so in theory it shouldn't be an issue. You click OK, you continue anyway. So then we are going to go into the alerts. You can see that, you know, when we are going to have a long entry alert, you know, it's going to trigger based on this part with this functionality, and as a message. Here, for example, you can put your webhook message or whatever, you know, so you will have to do the same, you know, for all the others as well. So let's make, for example, for the, so now let's make a new one, for example, for the short. So in this case, I'm going to write here long exit message. And and then, for example, I'm going to create alert. So it will be SPI exit alert. Here, SPI exit alert. And then we are going to write here our stuff. And then you have one notification. You can put, for example, here your webhook if you want to notify it or send an email or whatsoever. So it's the same like with the alert, except that in this case, in order to trigger the message, we would have to write here, like I said, this command. So we will have to write here, and whenever we is going to enter or the exit from the position, it will automatically trigger the message we have put, you know, in here. But yeah, if you guys want, you can make it like I make it in this case singular, so it can be easier to be understood. So then, for example, we can make with one alert, we can make four different types. So in this case, for example, it would be, so you would have long entry for SPI with our webhook message, and then, for example, here it would be long exit SPI with the webhook, and then the same short entry with the webhook message for SPI, and short exit with webhook for SPI. So we would have all four messages for the long and for the short. So we're going to go OK, and then you know, like I said, we are going to create the alert. So we'll go here. So this is going to be both long, short, entry, exit. So in this case, with this one, we're going to copy. And now the strategy, you know, we have one alert, and this alert is going to trigger for us 4 different type of alerts at the same time. So let's say, for example, the strategy is going to exit from a trade. Then for example, we are going to receive here the message which we had received, which we had input, on the long entry or on the long exit. So you can make it this one, you can make it this way, but if it's too complicated to manage, then you can always create, like for example, here you would have a chart, and here in this chart, so let's say for example, this would be, for example, long entry exit XPI 1 hour with IHL strategy. So we can make it like this, and then for example, instead you would just create only the alert for the long and long exit, and then you'll create another chart. You can make a copy and create another chart, and then you can set up within the strategy parameters, the messages. And I fully recommend that once you are done with this, once you are done with the strategy and you create the alert, in order to not have proper complications and further complication in the future, I will always recommend to create a new chart, in this case for example a new layout, and in this new layout you can make all the new calculations and so on. But once you have applied the strategies and everything and the alerts for a chart, don't touch it at all, because sometimes it can interfere with the logic, and you can get things which you are not expected, and yeah, better to be more careful. So yeah, this would be the way for this strategy. Let me think if there is something else. No, I believe more or less I covered all of it. So yeah, well, if you want, you can use the bar close like I said before, and the bar magnifier, so you can be even short, you can be even safer, I would say, in this case of the situation. So yeah, I would say this is more or less what I have. Regarding the access, if you are a client, just please, or even if you are not, and if you are not a client and you want to test the product, I will give you definitely without any inconvenience. So you can freely test it. I will also write this in the Telegram message right now. I strongly recommend that when you are making all these tests and so on, I strongly recommend that you always use regular trading hours and not extended, because for the extended you will have to have access, to be able to trade, when the market is closed, and that's kind of a little bit complicated. So always remember, when you are dealing with stocks in this part of situation, with this part, like here for example for the US market, because for example Asian market or European market might work in a different way. So for example in this case I would recommend to use with the regular. So yeah, but this is, like I said, this is for the US market. So I would say this is it. So yeah, if you have any questions or anything, just let me know. And yeah, you can find in my profile, you can find all the details about myself, about the company, about the products, about the website and everything. So thank you all for watching, and see you next time. Bye bye.